I've got 9 brand spanking new features and additions to the game that are going to be in FIFA 19. This one is gonna be big. We'll start off though with the obvious one. It is the main headline, and for that reason I won't go into it in too much depth because I have spoken about it already. But obviously the Champions League, Europa League and UEFA Super Cup are going to be fully licensed on FIFA 19. No more of the Champions Cup, the Euro League and whatever the Super Cup was called on FIFA 18. And I've never really paid much attention, but no more of that. We've actually got the official licensed Champions League and Europa League on the game. Hallelujah. Konami obviously lost the rights earlier in the sort of springtime, around about April or May I think it was, and EA picked it up immediately and they're slapping it into the game. So you get all the graphics, all of the shirt sort of number and font changes as well, and the Champions League badge on the sleeves. That's something I didn't actually talk about. New cutscenes as well for that, which is really quite cool, and generally, hopefully, just the Champions League atmosphere. Whether it means you'll get teams like Ludogorets and Dynamo Zagreb that actually get into the competition on a regular basis on the game in the rest of the world section, we will have to wait and see, because obviously it wouldn't be an accurate representation of the Champions League if those teams are in it in real life but aren't on the game. So we'll have to see whether they enter in the rest of the world section like the likes of Shakhtar Donetsk and also Olympiacos did in the past. And obviously if that's going to be the case, then they're going to have to do a lot of work with the Europa League, because plenty of the teams that you see on a regular basis in the Europa League in real life just don't feature on FIFA right now. So carrying on with the Champions League theme, along with the officially licensed competition, you're going to be seeing special Ultimate Team cards that reflect the games and the best performers in real life. This is the second point, this is the second thing that is confirmed for FIFA 19. New special Champions League cards. You had these sort of unlicensed team of the group stage ones on FIFA 18, but now you're going to actually have proper ones. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, to be honest with you. It's yet another special card. Hopefully EA do it justice in its design. But I hope that, you know, the Champions League and Europa League aren't just funneled into Ultimate Team and that's it. I hope there's a decent amount of work done to them for them to be useful and really game enhancing in other game modes as well, like career mode, for example. Now, I've spoken already about how Konami lost the licensing for the Champions League and the Europa League, but they also lost the official licensing for Borussia Dortmund over the summer as well. And that means that the Borussia Dortmund Stadium, the Signal Iduna Park, is going to be back in FIFA. I think it took 1 year hiatus whilst it was officially PES's, and then now it's back. I think the only game it's not been in is FIFA 18. And to be honest with you, off the back of this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the new camp back on FIFA for the next installment, so FIFA 20. I don't think you'll see it for FIFA 19. That's too late in the day. I think they would have announced it by now. But I think you'll probably see that in FIFA 20 because at this point, I don't see why Barcelona would keep that sort of exclusive partnership with Konami. It makes no sense. That game is going downhill very, very quickly now that they've lost the Champions League. So I think you'll see the new camp soon. But the Signal Iduna Park Borussia Dortmund Stadium is in fact confirmed for FIFA 19. Another bit of licensing news, and Serie A is going to be officially licensed from now on. It was the Calcio A before, but now it is actually going to be known as Serie A like it used to be, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know how they managed to lose that licensing, but they've managed to get it back now. Whether that means you'll also get the official graphics pack and all that sort of stuff like you have with the Bundesliga and the Premier League and obviously La Liga as well, that is yet to be seen. I imagine so, realistically. They're not just going to get the licensing to call it Serie A and leave it at that. This is EA we're talking about. They love a bit of licensing, so I'm sure realistically you'll see the graphics pack too. There's been rumours you'll also see the Ligue 1 one as well, because of the fact that Neymar is on the cover. That isn't confirmed though yet, so hopefully we see that and the Serie A sort of packaging coming along too, because we've already had obviously the Premier League, Bundesliga and La Liga. It would be nice to have all 5 of the major European leagues fully licensed on the game with the graphics and all that sort of stuff as well. Now, my most recent video talked about this in a lot more detail, but the journey is going to be done after FIFA 19. This is the final part of the trilogy, and it's going to be called The Journey Champions. Alex Hunter's last venture into the FIFA sort of world and sphere. It's done. It is literally done after FIFA 19. FIFA 19 will be the final game that you see the journey in its traditional form. Whether it will be replaced with a customizable mode or whether it will be just ditched completely, we're yet to know. They've been a little bit sort of cryptic with that whole situation, not really releasing too much apart from the statement that it will be the last one. But yeah, that's confirmed for FIFA 19. The journey will feature Alex Hunter playing in the Champions League, but it will be the last part of the storyline. Now, this next one is a big one, in my opinion, in terms of the fact that it hasn't really been talked about in videos as far as I am aware, and that is there's a new feature called Game Plans for FIFA 19. Shout out to Chewboy, who was obviously at EA Play. He was sort of talking us through this on Twitter. I managed to find it and then I've put it into this video. But basically what it is where you have the attacking, ultra-attacking, park the bus, all that sort of stuff in your gameplay, and you select it via the D-pad. You can now actually set those to have specific roles and specific tactics. I'll explain that more. So basically, if you want to go ultra defensive, you can set ultra defensive at the start of the game to be 5 at the back. So when you go to ultra defensive on the D-pad, your formation will instantly change to 5 at the back. You can do that in more detail than just the formations as well. If you want to go to attacking, and that means higher pressing, you can set that before the game starts so that when you click over to attacking on the D-pad, your team will not only push more men forward, they may also go to 4-3-3 from 4-4-2 if that's what you want. There's lots of numbers in there, I apologise, I managed to mess that up, but they'll also press more is what I'm trying to say. So you can really enhance what the D-pad actually does on the settings, which I think is quite cool, and it means you don't have to go into the team management to start making your players press more and change formation and all that sort of stuff. So I quite like that feature. It should work pretty well, although one thing to go along with this is the fact that apparently you can't choose park the bus anymore. That isn't actually an option, which I like because it was starting to ruin online with everyone like winning 1-0 because they just go on park the bus, so apparently that's been removed. But ultimate thing is there's loads of new face scans going into FIFA 19. There are a huge amount of players seemingly that are getting new face scans. Obviously there was some for the World Cup. You saw the likes of Thomas Lemar, Ousmane Dembele, Hirving Lozano, Yuri Tielemans, Dries Mertens, plenty of players getting face scans purely for the World Cup, but there's also been more for the actual game, for actual FIFA 19 as well. There was leaked footage of Atletico Madrid playing PSG, and it showed off that Adrian Rabiot, I think it was, Giovanni Lo Celso, and also Angel Correa from Atletico Madrid had actual faces now, whereas they didn't on FIFA 18. So yet another step in the right direction in terms of having more players on the game. It is nice to have these major players with face scans, because it was always weird seeing people like Ousmane Dembele without a face. And then finally, seems quite trivial, but it's something. Realistically, you can now actually choose different types of shots when the ball is coming to you by pressing L2 or LT if you are on Xbox. So for example, if a cross is coming into the box, you can hold down LT or L2 and it'll do a volley, whereas if you don't do that, it will head the ball. That's what that is. I mean, it sounds literally quite trivial. I'm sure it works in different senses as well. Like if the ball is behind you, you can hold LT and it'll do a flick like through the legs or whatever. But that's all I know for now. But it is something that's quite interesting because a lot of the time you'd be clean through on goal and you want to do a volley, but for some reason your player will do a header, get no pace behind it, and the keeper just catches it easily. So it will actually be a little bit better and make things a little bit less frustrating when it comes to the gameplay, in my opinion. So that is your 9 things that are confirmed for FIFA 19 so far, to do with licensing, to do with game faces, to do with actual gameplay. There's plenty of stuff coming from E3, and I'm sure it won't be too long until we start hearing some more Ultimate Team features and Ultimate Team news, and I assume around about a month before we start hearing a lot of stuff about career mode as well. Maybe some more gameplay features and screenshots coming up soon. I really hope so, because I love bringing these videos to you, and I'm excited to see how this game turns out. I just beg it's more fun than FIFA 18 and has a better career mode, realistically. Pro Clubs need some sorting out too for you Pro Clubs guys, so hopefully that happens too. Regardless of that though, that is pretty much it for this video. If you have enjoyed, slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel as it really helps me out. It's that big red button under